Okay, folks, it's 10 o'clock, so we might get underway. Again, conscious of Mark making himself available, which is really nice of him, so thanks to Mark, and thanks to all you for turning up. Obviously, you organise these things, and it's always important that some person turns up, so it was great to see more than one. So thanks very much. Hopefully you got a little bit out of last week. And there's a few additional sheets that I've put up there, but I want to run through when Mark's finished a bit of a slideshow that connects to the internet finally, so that's really good. So we'll go through that a little later. But obviously I said, being new to the position, it would have been nice to have done this in October prior to the fire season, so you could have got hands-on, but that's not possible. We're in fire season now, so Mark's just going to go through the theoretical side of things, which is still enhancing your knowledge, I guess. It'll be good for me. And then he'll take any questions after that. So I guess over to you, Mark.
All right, thanks, Eddie. No problems at all. Now, just some of you, we did this about 12 months or 18 months ago, so some of you in the room, I reckon did it back then, so I'll go over basically the same again to refresh ourselves. The only thing we'll do, we won't do any practical displays like putting out fire like we did last time, actually use the extinguishers out there, but being this time of year we won't risk that. So basically what we're going to go through today is just one module of what we call the basic firefighting course. So all new CFS volunteers will do I think it's about 12 modules. Right, this is just one of those modules which we'll take you through today. You don't hesitate to ask me a question either, if you during as we go. Basically, just our topics: the fire diamond triangle, I should say. Basic extinguishment factors, the classes of fire, firefighting agents and equipment, and deployment procedures. All sounds fancy, but at the end of the day, it's just all about grabbing an extinguisher and using it, and using the right one. Okay, so basically you've seen all this before, you'll have gone through. Can you see the screen all right there?
All right, yeah.
You're right? Basically remove any one of the fuel, oxygen or heat, right, and basically the fire's going to go out. I mean, you would have gone through that over the years and seen that before, different things you've done possibly. So basically, and we'll go through the procedures on how to maybe get rid of heat, fuel, oxygen. There's different ways of doing those sort of things. Righto, so basically starve it of fuel, smother it to cut off the oxygen, cool it to remove the heat, inhibit to slow the chemical chain reaction, might just mean moving something. Basically, the selection is made on the class of fire, which we'll be going into in a minute. Basically, fuel is divided into 6 classes. Basically, it's A, B, C, D, E, and F. They're all listed alphabetically, and basically that'll help us identify which class of extinguisher we need to use to put out that particular fire. Right, Class A fires. Right, are those involving common burnable materials, anything, paper, materials, wood, cloth, most things in the home really, carpet, anything like that sort of thing. I mean that list, it's probably endless sort of list. That's also really a Class A fire is grass, dry grass and stubble and crop and things like that. B class, just your petrols, kerosenes, oils. You tend to think maybe the shed, that sort of thing, but no. But if you look under your kitchen sink, I bet you there's polishes, solvents, lacquers, thinners, things like that. So even within the house, you will have a lot of the Class B fires. I know the shed may have more, or certainly more in quantity, but certainly will have some in the house. Class C, basically just your gas fires. Are there gas appliances here in the building, in the houses? So everything's electrical, is it? So I'm not sure. Yep, no dramas. But you've probably got your barbecues sitting there with the gas cylinder on it, things like that. Can also mean aerosol cans because they're a propellant sort of thing. So basically, that's Class C, and also. No, there's no big bullet here, is there? Even this is electricity for your cooking? Here? Yeah. I mean, down the street you'll see what we call the larger bullets. The bigger, like behind hotels and gas, petrol stations and things like that, you'll see the large. That's what I mean by the
Back of the roadhouse, I think there's one.
That's one there.
Back of the roadhouse.
Yeah, the pub's got one. Brunga Village doesn't have one, but the hospital has one. But it's actually between the two buildings, sort of thing. So. And the reason they're actually called bullets, too, is at one end is actually like a weak point, and if all their safety valves weren't to operate properly, it'll actually go off like a bullet. It'll blow out one end and go whoosh. So the one at the Roadhouse, for instance, is aiming directly towards the hospital. So it's, luckily,
Don't stand at the wrong end.
don't stand at the wrong end. They've got plenty of devices that will bench and go off first to stop it doing that. That's what they call a bleving, and that's very rare, but can happen. Class D fires. Again, not a lot around here. The main one we would have here would be, of course, your mag wheels. Probably a lot of mag wheels sitting on your cars all through here. So that actually is covered by a Class D fire. They can actually melt and can give off quite bad toxic vapours. But basically all your aluminium, so say like a Port Broughton Engineering, he'd have all that sort of stuff that might melt. Some to a degree, some of your workshops, your work sheds here and all that, your garages might have bits and pieces, but not as common. And Class E, now this is quite common. Righto, electricity is not considered to be a fuel. Once the electrical supply has been isolated, an extinguishing medium appropriate to the class of fire, fuel on fire, will be applied. Right, do you know what that means exactly? So, while it's still alive, obviously you've got to use a particular, which we'll go through in a minute. We've got to use a particular type of extinguisher. But once that fuel has been, the fuel, e.g., the electricity has been turned off, if what's on fire is timber or it's paper or cardboard, the Class A fire, you can actually use that medium to put it out. So it's a little bit tricky, but it's a good one to learn because I've asked, you haven't got gas as such, but every house does have electricity. So if there's going to be any issues or any problems, there's half a chance it will be with electrical fire. Electricity has been given a specific class of its own as a safety precaution. The classification is used to warn those extinguishing fires involving electricity to use a non-conductive extinguishing medium, or to isolate, or both, isolate the electrical supply first. So it will depend on whether you can isolate that supply as to what you will use to put that fire out. All right? But we will go into depth into each one in a minute. Class F fires, involving cooking oils or fats. Again, this will be somewhere that can happen anytime, anywhere, no matter how modern the houses, it's all steel construction. So, that side of it won't burn, but there's nothing that's going to stop you having a fire on the stove, right, and oil and that boiling over. They're basically found in kitchens and domestic homes, restaurants and that sort of thing. That's a Class B. Righto. When you are called upon to extinguish a fire, you must be able to quickly identify the class of fire in order to select a safe and effective extinguishing medium. So basically it's all about just knowing what you have on hand anyway, right, what you have there in your house or here in this building here, or wherever you happen to be at the time, and then making that decision, is that the right extinguisher for that particular fire? So if nothing else out of today, if you can, and we'll go through it in a minute, if you can come out of today knowing, at least having a bit better idea of, okay, well I've got that extinguisher, that's what I've got, or whatever, okay, so that will do that or this and that, so that's good, that's what we want you to come out of it with. Righto. So, water extinguishers. So that's one there. Now basically you're talking, if they're red, no other markings on it sort of thing. Basically pure water, absorbs heat readily, produces steam, conducts electricity, so hence we would not use this one on an electrical fire. It's cheap. I can build this one myself, right? You're not going to probably have any throughout the building here or even in your houses. Farmers will have them, they'll have them on their headers, things like that, maybe in their sheds. Basically, you can fill these yourself. That's just got water in it. That's all it's got. You can unscrew the top, fill it with water. On the back of that, it's just like a bike valve compressor. You get the pressure to the right one, bang, and you're ready to go. All right. So these are quite basic. Like I said, they're cheap, readily available. There's 9 litres in there. Right. So that's basically just a water extinguisher. Righto. So basically, cooling, smothering it. Not suitable for it's suitable for Class A, not suitable for any other classes of fire. So it's a little bit limited, this one, really, at the end of the day. I wouldn't expect one of these to be sitting in this building here or in your house, because really, it would only be if you had a little fire in the backyard, with some grass or cardboard or wood that you'd use it. So you're not going to probably have that one there. A foam extinguisher. It's a bit dirty, you've got to pull this off the fire truck a little while ago. Righto. Basically what this is water, very similar to the last one, but it's actually got an foam, AFFF foam, basically additive in there. So when it's discharged, it will come out as a foam. Okay, this one is distinguished by a blue band, and or the whole thing will be blue. All right, so you're looking for a blue band. Right, basically, it just draws in air. You know, you would have seen it, or probably even those that did the lesson we did here 18 months or so ago would have got to use one sort of thing. Basically, where you would use this maybe on an oil or a petrol spill, or on fire sort of thing. Maybe potentially used in say a more of an industrial, say cooker on a stove. I've used these in fires myself with the CFS, where you've gone in like with breathing apparatus on and the pub's been on fire. Great big chip machine like that. What to do is you actually hit the back wall. If I actually hit the fire, all that'd do is spread the fire and it would explode. I've actually hit the back wall, and what it does is the foam then runs down over it and smothers it. All right, so you actually hit the back wall, you don't hit the actual fire itself. There still is water, still is liquid, so it'll just shoot it like that. So you hit the back wall and it just goes like that, and we'll actually put that fire out. Yeah. So basically cooling, smothering and starving it of oxygen. All right, most suited to Class B fires, which are, you know, your oils and things like that. Again, I wouldn't expect anyone to have one of these in their houses. I thought there might have been one here, but having said that doesn't mean there has to be one here, by all means. This has been done by people that are far more knowledgeable than I am as to what has to be in a kitchen and things like that. But so the pub would probably have those, or would like to think they would have one of these, or equivalent down there sort of thing. They're not suited to Class C and D, and it is conductive, obviously. Dry chemical. Right, a dry chemical. Now, this is actually extinguisher, this particular one here, is the one that's kept in your kitchen here. And there's another one just there, is there, right? You can see that before. So there's probably even others down further in the building. I should have gone for a walk. So make, after we've finished, when you're having a cup of tea or coffee, just have a look and see where this is kept in there, right? Because this is one that this is your building. So this is the one that if you're here and something happens, you might want to act on. So this is the actual physical one that you keep. You can get them in all different sizes, 9 kg, so you can actually get them as big as that, and obviously small ones, for the car and the kitchen and things like that. So basically, you're just looking at the white band that indicates that. So you'll have a red extinguisher with a white band. Basically, it's very fine powder. Basically, sodium bicarbonate. Basically. Okay, so what it'll do, it'll shoot out in the white dust. If I was to fire one off right here, it would actually really be quite a thick powder right throughout the whole room. One little thing is, if you do let off one of these and it's in, say, with your computers and your TVs, it can ruin your computers and your TVs, right? Because the dust particles will bridge across all your little contacts, right, and anything electrical. Having said that, that's better than your house burning down, isn't it? So you can soon get another. Well, what's easier, to get a new computer or a new TV, or have to rebuild a whole new house? So, but it will actually do that sort of thing. So don't let the grandkids play with it in the lounge room. Basically, again, smothering, inhibition of the heat, that take away the heat and the oxygen sort of thing. Basically, this is probably one of your most, let's say not economical, but one of your most popular cylinders, because this will actually do a lot of the fires. Basically, it'll do the A, B, and E, because that will do electrical. So it's one of the rare, extinguishers that will actually do an electrical fire, and B and C. So really, it can do the whole lot, right? So it's pretty good like that. Now, one thing you need to keep in mind is, so the fire's just there, right? So you'll hit that, right, and boom, absolutely takes the oxygen away. The fire will drop down. But as soon as the oxygen comes back, that heat source is still there, that will and can ignite again. So as well as it's a good little thing to have, you really got to try and get rid of that heat source that's on that you're trying to fight. If that makes any sense at all. If it was, there's a half a chance you go like that, say there's oil coming down here and it was on fire, you could go shh like that and you'd probably put it out, and that might be fine. You might have it just right, but if there's enough heat there for it to reignite, it will reignite, so you just need to be aware of that. And if you've got any left, then you give it another squirt and hopefully you'll get that out. Right. Carbon monoxide. Right. Again, you won't see a real lot of these around. You'll see them in industrial places. What it is, basically it's dry ice. If I sat there and turned this on and just like that, we'd have a great big pile of dry ice